Hello, boring vlogs people. How are you this fine day? Me? I am fan-flippin-tastic. You know, out here on this beautiful day, and it is 93 degrees outside. Feels hotter than that, but that's what my car says it is. Just went out to grab some Jamba Juice for lunch at a reasonable time. It's only 2 o'clock today. It's not my 4:30 normal lunch time. And surprisingly, I would expect it to be busier somewhat around lunchtime, around 1 o'clock, but nope, it was slower than it normally is at 4, so that's a nice thing. But yeah, I cut my hair, which you probably noticed in yesterday's video, technically last night's video, if you watched that. Completely forgot to mention it, simply because all I wanted to talk about was meeting Danny Trejo, because that was awesome. I said thanks to him for the picture, and that was about it. That was my entire conversation with Danny Trejo. But my roommate wouldn't shut up about it all freaking night. But hey, that's pretty exciting stuff, meeting famous people, getting to shake their hand, take a picture with them. So that was fun. And, I didn't even remember to mention the fact that, probably half an hour before we left to go get the food, there was a 4.4 magnitude earthquake. My roommate and I were just sitting in his room on our computers, and I felt it was starting to shake, and I mentioned it to him, and then he noticed it, and we got up and told his girlfriend, blah, blah, blah. But, so that was interesting. And then this morning, at 8:30, which unfortunately I was awake at 8:30, after going to bed at 4, lame, I felt there was a second earthquake as well that hit. I don't know how hard or how extreme that one was, what that one was on the Richter scale. But yeah, I felt it was more of a jolt I felt this morning. So that's kind of, it's always a little exciting, but sort of scary. It scares some people that aren't used to it. It's I've felt earthquakes before, and sure, it's scary to think, what if this is the big one that happened and gonna create a tsunami, and it's gonna break apart the ground, and sinkholes are gonna have, I don't know. Whenever I think of earthquakes, I think of, oh, okay, the ground just shook, no big deal. But I guess it can get a lot scarier than that, which is why people get worried. But at my last job, there was a big earthquake, and we were up 3 floors, I think, and it was people's stuff was falling over on their desks, and that was a big one. I remember that. I don't remember what the Richter scale number was of that, but it was pretty intense. But these two that just happened, I mean, they were pretty good ones, I guess. They were enough for me to feel them. I haven't felt an earthquake in a while. But that's always some exciting stuff, I guess. But yeah, so all this crazy stuff happening. I cut my hair. That's the craziest of all. Sure, meeting Danny Trejo and going through 2 earthquakes in 12 hours is exciting, but haircut. But yeah, they released some of the first higher resolution images today from the from the Curiosity rover on Mars. I guess why all the pictures were blurry is because they put little lens caps sorta over the camera lens, so that those could get scratched when it was descending to the planet, and all the dust could get on those, and then they could pop those off once it was free of any risk of dust and getting those scratched and dirty. So they were just waiting until it got there and landed and the dust settled before they popped those lenses off to get a nice clear image again. So that's kind of cool. And then I was hearing about, after all this earthquake news, this guy's getting in his car next to me, he's staring at me weird, it's funny. But I heard that there's some earthquake somewhere, or not earthquake, sorry, volcano somewhere that's erupting ash, which is crazy. Volcano eruptions, that's scary. Earthquakes, okay, the ground shook a little, get over it. But if there's molten lava flying at you, that is scary as crap. How do you run away from that? I saw the movie, what's it called? Whatever that movie was, where the volcano erupted and they're running away down the hill from it. I just remember the grandma getting out of the boat and getting into the boiling hot water and dying. Whatever movie, I want to know what the name of that movie was. I remember watching it with my parents, mostly because they had to hotwire a car, And while that was happening, I was like, oh, they're hot wiring the car. And my mom was like, how do you know what that is? I must have been pretty young at the time for her to be like amazed at the fact that I knew what hot wiring a car was. I just remember just that little moment where she's like, how do you know what that was? And I was like, I don't know. I just know what it was. But yeah, I remember that movie. And that made me afraid of volcanoes, because that's some scary crap. That stuff is crazy hot. It will, like, you can't even stand close to it because it's too hot to stand next to. Let alone if it were to fall anywhere on your house or on your car or on you. Oh god, that'd be freaky. But yeah, so hopefully that doesn't happen. And hopefully the earthquakes don't split California apart, because that would also suck. But I guess that's about it really for today. All the exciting stuff that's happened to me so far. So I guess I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a fantastic rest of your day. And yeah, so long. Bye-bye.